Welcome to Brain Friends, where two neuro nerds talk all things aphasia, language recovery, culture, and community. I am Dr. Detrina Celeste Gatson, a clinical speech-language pathologist and neuroscientist.
And I am Angie Cawthorn, stroke survivor and aphasia advocate.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to Brain Friends.
We want to thank all of our listeners for downloading the podcast. We appreciate everyone listening, so please tell a friend to tell a friend that we are here.
And we are. Hey, Brain Friends. So, the name of this episode is called More Than Words. And when I was living in Seattle back in 1992? 1991, maybe? It was one of my favorite songs. So, what does that have to do with discourse? And what does that have to do with today? Quite a bit, actually. So today I am sitting down with the brilliant Dr. Brielle Stark. She is a neuroscientist and an aphasia researcher at Indiana University Bloomington. So she studies how the brain tells a story, and she's going to help us understand why recovery doesn't stop at 6 months, why standard tests miss what matters, and why we measure progress in aphasia needs to catch up to the way people actually live. So again, y'all know what it is. This is Brain Friends. I'm Angie Cawthorn. Grab your coffee. Brie already has her espresso. We're getting into it. Welcome to Brain Friends. Let's go. With your tiny mug, how much espresso and how far does that get you in the day? That's what I need to know.
I know. Well, I had some espresso because I teach at 8 a.m. So, yeah, I know.
What are we talking about? What needs to be said at 8 a.m.?
Aphasia class.
What are you teaching these cats? Like, what are we learning?
It's some intense stuff. So this morning we talked about primary progressive aphasia to graduate people training to be speech therapists, graduate students.
Primary progressive aphasia. And I just don't feel like it gets the importance that it needs because it goes into dementia, but it's so right. I mean, aphasia is misunderstood, but primary progressive, and it took actually I remember talking to Celeste about this, and I was like, well, what's the difference? She says, well, you're getting better, but with progressive aphasia they're not getting better. It's a different you both start here, but you're it's like you and your kid brother. You start here at the house, but you take very different paths.
Different paths.
Or maybe your cousin. The point is, it's about your home structure. Okay.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah. So we're talking today. I mean, it's just a different thing entirely. It's totally different. The game plan with speech therapy with primary progressive is to slow it down. But for stroke aphasia, it's to speed it up.
Primary progressive aphasia is, so with aphasia, with a regular aphasia, I should say, or stroke, that's the difference, is how you received it. So because I got mine acutely, I have a better opportunity for that neuroplasticity to come and repair, or at least make it workable. Versus when it's a slow decline, it's like those bridges are just being tapped at every day. And you're losing a little bit, and next thing you know, it's that infrastructure. It's kind of like that movie Shawshank Redemption, where he's like
chipping away in the tunnel.
He's chipping it away, and next thing you know,
that's a good movie.
Oh my God, what do you got to say there, Fuzzy Britches? Let's ask her.
Oh my gosh, I used to live really close to that prison in Ohio where it was filmed. Did you? Fun fact, yes. Been there, crawled through that tunnel. Super cool. So,
it's a real thing.
Yeah, where it was filmed. Yeah. But you're right. Like the onset's totally different. So the primary version is very slow onset, but you're right. The brain doesn't have a chance to reform itself because it's under a very slow attack
A very
versus
slow attack, and by the time
yeah.
you realize how far that attack is going, next thing
Hmm.
you know, you're Bruce Willis, and they're
That's
calling
right.
it primary progressive aphasia, but it's actually a road to dementia.
Yeah, so dementia is a syndrome, which is a bunch of symptoms together, and primary progressive aphasia is a syndrome, but they're caused by diseases. So the disease can have a treatment and the syndromes can have treatments. And so it's kind of a complex thing, but we don't have a cure for the disease.
You don't
So
have a
right
cure for any
now,
of it.
no, right now we're just sitting, trying to figure out what's the way to slow it down.
And
Mhm.
for me, we're trying to speed up neuroplasticity. Well, then let me
That's
ask
right.
you this: is there a way to give people with primary progressive aphasia, if we're trying to slow it down, the little men that's just tapping at the bridge, if we can slow them down, is there a way that I can be simultaneously building more bridges?
Yeah, there's some really cool research out there. So professors Maya Henry, Jessica Richardson, Stephanie
Who doesn't
Grosso,
love them? I love
they're
everybody you just said,
just
and I know them.
fantastic people,
Oh my
right?
God, who
Maria
doesn't love
Gorno
Maya? And
Tempini,
Maya,
there's some up there.
Jessica Richardson,
Ah, some
and
rock stars.
Honey
Oh yeah,
Pot over
honey.
there.
They're doing some cool stuff showing that you can slow down the progression in some of these. They're called variants in primary progressive aphasia. We talk
Oh,
about types in aphasias like Broca's aphasia, Wernicke's. They call them variants
oh,
in the progressive varieties, so slightly different. They talk about slowing it down and maintaining
yeah,
where you are for longer. And they have shown that speech therapy can be effective in that, but the goal setting's different. It's about improving and a little bit and maintaining rather than thinking about a stroke aphasia where it's like improving and keeping improving. The
right.
goal setting's a little bit different, but they are showing some really cool improvements there. So I think it does reflect neuroplasticity. It's just kind of a different way of thinking about
Well, because neuroplasticity is just amazing. But listen, that
it.
is not why I called you onto the show. Okay.
It's
We're
not.
it's not, believe it or not, but this happens to me all the time. So what happens is this is the thing of where Celeste is absolutely missing and the biggest part for me. She was the timekeeper, she was the note taker. I just showed up with inappropriate statements and really good editing skills. Okay.
I got to talk about Celeste the other day, just to, plug
Oh,
her
did
memory
you?
here. I did. I did. A student asked me the other day, she says, is there anyone doing work in this area of, really thinking about disparities and, how they affect stroke survivors, people with aphasia? And I said, there was someone whose work is still living. So I got to talk about Celeste's most recent paper, so that was cool. The one good thing in academia about publishing is that we do get to have work that lives on, and that is a
Yes.
nice thing. And so
Yeah.
kudos for getting that paper out into the world.
Yes.
Kudos for it living on. And
Yes.
I'm
And
going
I'm
to keep
doing my
talking
part
about it.
here.
And I'm
And I'm
excited for you to
doing,
keep talking about it. So
yep.
that's the number one thing
That's
I think we can do.
that's all we can do is just try to bring some understanding. So, first of all, Dr. Bree, we do an icebreaker. It was one of Dr. Celeste's favorite things to do. So we're
Oh,
going to warm up brain friend style. Okay.
okay.
So,
I'm ready.
if you had to choose one starter for a
Ooh,
communications tool, like if it's fantasy football, and
okay.
you had to pick a starter, a communication tool, what
Mm.
is your first overall pick?
Ooh. Well, that's a good question. I think my overall pick is an injection of confidence.
Ooh, I love that.
I
Love
think we just
that.
need it sometimes. I think we just gotta like overcome that hurdle of I don't know if it's right, but I just gotta do it.
Oh my God, I love that. And that is so
I don't
true.
know.
That is so true.
Just off the cuff.
No, I love that. And that works in so many, an injection of confidence, because
Mm,
a lot of it is confidence. And I remember thinking to myself at some point, this can't happen. And I think there's a point where my confidence definitely took me through some of those darker
mm. Yeah.
valleys of
Hmm.
brain damage because it's hard to be mind over matter when it's your mind that's what's the matter.
Oh,
I'm going to
that's
let that
deep.
marinate,
Yeah.
let you take that in. And if you want to say it and cite me, that's fine. All right. The point is,
Gonna write an article with
yeah,
quote
it's
Angie
no.
Cawthorn.
I mean, I don't know why it hasn't been done. I don't know why I had to bring it up. So my my overall pick, if I had to, would be uh pause time. And what I
Mm.
mean by that is I need pause time to be like an offensive line. Because if you give me a clean pocket, I can get the play off.
Okay.
But if
Hmm.
you rush me, finish my sentences, throw a question in, once my words have started doing their evasive maneuvers, um, it's just causing more problems. But
Hmm.
I think if I could
Hmm.
get a pause to protect the pocket, and I'll deliver.
You
And
got
and
that
my
like pocket that yeah that like 7 second window where you've just
yeah,
got
just give me a few seconds so I
yeah.
can survey the field because I'm the
Hmm.
quarterback.
Hmm.
I'm the
Hmm.
quarterback, right? I'm the quarterback of my own team, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
need that protection, that hedge of protection. And sometimes that may be in the form of a caretaker or a friend,
Yeah.
but you need that, or for people just not to be rude, but they don't know they're being rude. They don't know. They don't know. They're trying to help. And I was always one when people would say, "Do you want us to help you or do you want us to let you figure it out?" I'm like, "If you don't throw me a bone and help me out here."
Nice of them to ask.
No, it is nice to ask, but it's one of
Because
those things like it's like, no, I
sometimes the
why would
asking though, you're like, mm,
because it's a conversation and a lot of times I would want to say one thing, but that words are just I remember one time I was in my support group
mm,
and one of my buddies was talking and he was talking about getting on a train in New York. He never said train, he said never said New York, he never said anything close. And I could see, I think it was Wendy Greenspan. She's like, yeah, and she's writing things down that he's saying, and we're trying to, and I'm like, he said he took the noon train and it didn't work and he was late for his meeting. And he was like, yes. Now, how I knew that is
uh-huh,
because
uh-huh.
at that time I knew exactly where the blocks or the walls come out. And that's the cultural thing of being an Aphasian
I see.
versus a person that can't hear at that level. It really almost was like a second language. And when I
Interesting.
realized that, I
Yeah.
was like, huh. And it's wild because as I'm getting better, I'm losing that ability to understand my fellow
Oh,
Ephesians.
interesting.
That's a paper. I don't know why we're not
Huh.
writing this down. I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel
no
like
kidding. So that's yeah, that's really interesting. So as you are recovering, you're kind of almost like forgetting that experience that you had.
yes, it's almost
Hmm.
like if I spoke my home language and now I'm
Hmm.
no longer immersed
Hmm.
in that cultural language, I began to lose it. But I could
It
literally
makes
speak
sense.
I could speak fluid Aphasian at any point in time before, but I
Hmm.
can't now. And
Hmm.
but anyway, I do have some questions about Discord because that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, discourse. Yes, my thing.
Discourse, which is your baby, that's your thing, that's your
Oh,
jam.
just been thinking.
So let me ask you this, friend. What
Yes.
is Discord?
So we think about this, and it's important to define it because I think perhaps people think about it in different ways. But the way that I think about it is language we use beyond a single sentence for a specific reason. So, for instance, discourse would be describing what you did yesterday, or describing what you see out your window, or telling a story to a new person you met,
Mm,
talking on the phone. It can be just me talking. It's what we're doing right now. So, two of us talking. It could be many people talking at the same time. I tend to focus on one person talking, which is called monologue. The reason I do that is it's a little bit less true to life because this is more true to life, what you and I are doing right now.
Hmm.
But it's a little bit harder to study. It's a little bit harder to kind of control the situation. It's a little bit harder to kind of tease apart some of the things that are happening. So I give away some of the true to life stuff and I take a little bit of a experimental control back. So I focus on the monologue, but there are some great people doing dialogue work out there too. So that's discourse. It's more of what we do in everyday life, but a lot of the standard tests you probably have done in speech clinics
Who
don't
doesn't love the
usually.
wob? Who doesn't love the wob? Oh
They're
my
like,
God.
name this picture.
So annoying on so
For
many.
their purpose, don't get me wrong.
Sure, they
Purpose, they
do.
tell us information, but they don't reflect what we do as humans in everyday life all the time.
So let me ask you this. What is the test missing that we don't? What is the test that you're giving for Discord, the cattle? What are they
Mm.
missing that we take into real life?
I think we're still figuring this out. So,
Mm.
one important thing we figured out is that there's not a perfect test of discourse. So, you've probably seen people ask you to describe a picture of some kid stealing a cookie.
Right.
You've probably been asked to describe the story of Cinderella. You've probably been asked to retell about an important event in your life.
Mm-hmm.
The idea behind this is that we know these different tasks, we call them, rely on different parts of your brain. So, for instance, an important event is us asking you to draw from your personal memories. And that's actually a slightly different form of accessing language. We're being tricky. Then, when we put a picture in front of you, we're accessing language through your eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're asking you to tell Cinderella, we're asking you to draw on a different type of memory. This is like fact-based memory. You didn't experience Cinderella personally, but you have seen it in movies, right? It's kind of like a fact-based memory. So we're trying to figure out, like, is there a certain type of person, like, for example, someone like you, Angie, now, who has a mild aphasia,
Mm-hmm.
who might need to be challenged a little bit more, who might need a harder discourse task to really figure out, like, hey, do you still have any needs, right? Like, does your language still have any breakdowns at, a really high level that we could work on together? But someone with a more complex or a more severe aphasia may not need that. That might be too hard for them.
Right.
So that's what we're still trying to figure out. And I think we're closer, but we're also trying to figure out what can we measure from these that is really reflecting what we think is going on. One type of thing we can measure is how informative is the language? Like, how much information are you conveying to me?
Mm-hmm.
How complex is your grammar, for instance? How well did you organize that story? Like, did you tell it with a beginning, a middle, and an end? Was it sequenced in the correct order? Did you have a reasonable number of main events if we knew what the main events were, like in Cinderella, for example?
Right.
We can measure quite a few different things, but it kind of depends on what we're looking for.
All right.
That might have been too much information for you.
No, no, no. That's
I
I'm
think about this a
thinking.
lot.
I'm thinking. Here's the thing. I went the very first time, and I tell the story actually a lot because it was such a light bulb moment for me.
Oh, okay.
Um, I went to Aphasia Access the very first time I went, and I did a poster. I was with the Adler crew. Shout out to Adler. My man Joe was with me. He's a fellow Aphasian. And Jessica Obermeyer was the person
Yeah,
in
cool.
charge. So we go to Baltimore. I do the thing on the poster thing. I come back. I'm talking to my buddy, Tay, my friend. And she's like, all right, all right, all right. Tell me what happened. Brie, I had the story ready. I was going to tell her about how I was triumphant. I
Yeah.
was awesome. I had a good story about the ride down between me and my husband. It was a whole thing. I was ready.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I went to go tell her, and walls went up and my
Mm.
words went into evasive maneuvers. And that
Oh,
was the first time I was like, okay, stop. I was talking fine a minute ago.
yeah.
And that's the first time I was able to recognize in real time, like, no, 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 this is, and it felt
Hmm.
different because and this is what the part you don't necessarily know because I have it. Aphasia feels it's tangible almost like it's not like, oh, it's just missing, it's taken. it's restricted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, you know what I mean? It's not like it's gone, it's restricted.
You knew they were there, but you couldn't access it.
I couldn't access it. So I had all this information. I had this great story I wanted to tell, but I couldn't tell it.
That's right.
So I could talk. So what is the thing that makes me able to have general conversation, but yet I wanted to tell a story that obviously I had just lived earlier that day.
Specifics, yeah.
But it was so tangible. Like it was like, oh my God, stop. What happened? And she got it too. She was like, no, you were, I saw it.
So when we're restricting our vocabulary really specifically, that can trigger some of these, kind of what you'll call like aphasic tendencies or walls that you're talking about, because you can't talk around it. We're trying to restrict your access a little bit to see what the problem causers are, for lack of
where the triggers.
And one of the reasons we have these discourse tasks is to try and get at like what are those triggers for some people. For some folks, it's really obvious triggers like verbs are really hard for some folks, like really specific verbs are hard. Time of day can be a trigger for some folks. It's not even something about the vocabulary. It's just something about the time of day when people do these things that's more of a trigger.
Fatigue. And the fatigue is
a big one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one.
You can't overstate that in any way. It's so
like that brain fog.
It is the murky waters of aphasia is what I called it. I mean, it's so dark and just murky is the verbs that I use to describe it, because and it's so unexpected. And that's the thing, that a stroke will take things from you did not know were up for grabs. Again.
No, I mean, and we still don't know, like, where is this, like, what is this fatigue? Like, people are still trying to quantify, like, what is this coming from? Like, and sometimes it's, from what I've heard, just like crippling. Like, you wake up one day and you're like, why am I so tired?
Yeah, and you're exhausted and you've gotten enough sleep.
Yeah, right. It's not like you ran a marathon.
You're at home watching reruns of Family Feud. Okay, who doesn't love Steve Harvey? The point is, you've done absolutely nothing. And you're like, oh God.
You're drinking water.
Hydrated and you are beat. But, again, when you put water on the motherboard, it's going to have problems. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's brain damage. And once I accepted the fact that I have brain damage, at one point I didn't. And then after the stroke, I did. It's like everything can go into that box. But sometimes we call that box aphasia.
No, there's a lot more to that box.
And that's the thing. Like when they say in aphasia, it doesn't affect your intelligence, it's just your language. I get triggered on that.
Angie, tell me more.
No, because here's the thing. I can't tie my shoe. I can't sign my name. I can't add $10 to the tip of my hairdresser. And you're telling me I'm just as smart as I was before the stroke.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Somebody's lying. Or they don't know what they're talking about.
I see.
And that's how I felt about I questioned if I even had aphasia for the longest because of the way it was being described and what I was going through. And then I meet my therapist friends and they're like, well, I don't know why no one's coming to therapy. Well, that's why. That's why. Because what you're saying and what I'm experiencing aren't matching up. And I'm paying you $40. I don't want to be here anyway. I'm exhausted. And you're like,
you're not selling it.
I'm like, I got lost getting here and you're around the corner. What are you talking about?
I got bigger fish to fry here. I am disoriented and tired.
And you're like, oh no, you didn't lose any of that. And I'm like, I don't know, John. I don't know how to make rice.
Yeah. You probably had some other stuff going on too.
Yeah.
I mean, in many cases, there are a variety of things going on, right?
Yeah, it's brain damage, but we tend to put everything. We put everything under this one umbrella of aphasia, which is unfair and untrue. There's apraxia, there's agraphia.
There's a lot of things.
Oh my God, the teasing out is ridiculous.
Yeah, my PhD is actually in neuroscience. Yeah, I'm not a speech therapist, so I think about this a lot. It's nearly impossible to have brain damage that affects a function. It's just not how our brain is organized. It's it's just unheard of to have brain damage and knock out like your pinky, right? Like it's just
Right, right,
it's just
right,
not
right.
like
It's
it's
not
very
right.
hard. Like it just doesn't happen that often,
Right.
just because of how our brain is, wired. That's such a small
Amazing.
area. And
I would
our
agree.
language system is what we call associative cortex. It's not primary motor. Like this is a primary motor function. It's developed very early. Our language system is not that. Like our language system doesn't develop fully until we are much older.
Like,
Our comprehension system develops first. So, we're pretty good comprehenders when we're kids. I mean, we're pretty good by about 5 or 6.
hmm
We're pretty darn good at talking by the time we're 8,
hmm
but we're not great at reading or writing until we're 10, 11.
Right.
Like it takes us a long time.
Yeah, by the
Like,
time it really gets
yeah, I
into
mean, it takes us a long time. And
Mhm.
so that's how many years our brain takes to develop those highways to send information quickly, whereas we are born with a pretty well-developed motor system. It still develops, don't get me wrong, right? I mean, we
Mhm.
can't walk when we're born, but it's pretty well developed
But
compared to
that
our
would actually be the strength, not even the motor context. It's
right.
this, you don't have the strength to walk, but you actually
Correct.
have the motor
But
to
you have
do
the
it.
system there.
No, I see
That's
what
right.
you're saying.
That's
I
right.
see the difference. And there is a
That's right.
huge nuance of what
There
has to
is.
be learned versus
There
what is
is.
innate.
And so in the language system, when you have a stroke, it's never going to wipe out like a function because that's not how it was developed, right? It's not like you were born with a language cortex like innately there.
Right,
Some,
right.
there's some thoughts about this that are out there that people disagree with, but I think we pretty well know that this
Mhm.
isn't, we're not born with that, and it develops over time. So, and everyone's different. Your language brain, we know for a fact, looks different than my language brain does.
It's you've seen one person with
Just
aphasia,
does.
you've seen one person with
That's
aphasia.
exactly it. We're working with a gentleman who has a right hemisphere stroke. He was strongly left-handed before his stroke. He has a Broca's aphasia now. Right hemisphere stroke, but like, is everyone who's left-handed right
Wow.
hemisphere dominant?
Right.
No,
No.
that's not
Right.
always true. In this case, he is, but he also has some strongly other right hemisphere things that are typical in a right-handed person. So it's totally different. It's
But
just everyone is unique.
so that would be the what's the big thing in the middle of the brain? The clocus callosum?
Corpus callosum. Pretty good.
Close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, good
I'll
work.
just blame the aphasia. You have no
No, good
idea.
work.
I'll drop that thing like Uno card on the floor.
Absolutely. That was a mic drop. Good work.
So would that be why this guy is able to use
Is
code?
fascinating. We're still learning. It's called lateralization. So the lateralizing of one function. It is more common in left-handers to have a right-sided language system, but it's not that common.
It goes.
Just how he was born. I don't know.
They
The
call it
thing with
brain.
stroke is we don't have
Oh,
scans of these folks before they have a brain
and that's
damage,
another
right?
thing. That's
We
another,
don't know.
and that's the thing that always concerns me.
That's right.
And put myself into this, field of work or whatever. Is now you see,
Oh,
there's
you
a
don't
lot.
know someone's baseline.
Oh, what was I saying?
You don't
Oh,
know someone's
people's
baseline.
baseline. People's baseline. How do you know if a person was intellectually challenged before?
It's tough, right?
It's like, and
Especially,
you're
I
giving
mean,
them a wob, assuming that they had a literal decent baseline,
mhm.
and maybe they already weren't going to pass it on their best day.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of getting a really thorough case history when we're talking to graduate students, but you do have these folks who don't have a good case history. Like we have individuals here who have been unhoused for a decent portion of their lives, who
Mm.
come into our hospital system, who don't have family, who don't have medical records in the system, who we do not have a case history on these folks. We do not have a good baseline. We don't know, right? We cannot make the assumption that they do or do not have a pre-existing condition of any kind, right? We don't have that information. And I think that's fairly like common in big cities too, probably more common in big cities than here.
Yeah.
You're right.
That is that,
We
especially on
know
the mental
education
health
has a
side.
bearing on scores. So a lot of
Yeah.
these assessments that you're talking about do have standard scores that are, we call it weighting by education. So they'll be
Mm.
slightly changed. But I don't know if that's everything, right? That doesn't necessarily account for everything.
In reference to people getting better and working on, and this is, I think, going to lean into the neuroscientist of you. When
Mm,
people want to do home practice,
mm,
what is good home practice that is worthy of your time versus
mm.
what is like just busy work?
Interesting.
Like what's going
Yeah.
to really put some meat on the bone, as it were?
So I did my PhD in tablet-based therapy because I was really interested in this question. And I didn't do it with the intent of putting speech therapists out of a job. I did it with the intent of how could we supplement what people are doing anyway, because we knew this idea of dose was important.
What
So
is dose?
so dose is this idea of neuroplasticity happens at a higher rate the more we do something and the more often we do it. So, for instance, if you were to go to therapy every day, that would be better than going once a week. But our insurance in the US is crap. And most people also don't have time to do that. So, like, there's no way, right? Like, we just
Right,
can't do that.
right,
So, my thought process with thinking about tablet-based therapy is like, okay, Angie can go twice a week. That fits with her schedule and her availability and money and all these things. But then at home, the therapist could get an app that she could program to be at the correct level for Angie to challenge her, send her back with it so Angie could practice every day. And then when she saw her, she wouldn't be losing anything in the meantime.
right.
So I think the happy medium is that the practice is challenging.
Okay,
If it's easy, I don't think you're getting any bang for your buck.
okay.
I think
So,
that's number one.
okay.
I think that might ruffle a few feathers.
Why would it ruffle a few feathers?
I don't know. People are like, but I just want to watch TV and listen to audiobooks.
Don't get me started. I don't want to get in any trouble either. I'm trying to keep a listener. I don't want any trouble. But no, I get what you're saying, because I was going to see my father right after I had my stroke. I was like, let me see him in person. Now
Mm,
he was going through beginning signs of dementia. He was
okay,
still there though. He was good enough to know, he knew his daughter had a stroke and he wasn't
I
happy
see.
about it. But
Mm,
so I was like, let me go see him so he can see me. And, so I about to get on the plane. I go to Five Below and I'm like, now, mind you, lest we forget, I'm a finance manager. I get the book, a fifth grade book, math book, because I'm going to
mm,
work on it on the plane. I got 4 hours.
gotcha.
Why not?
Mm,
Third grade book. I'm like, oh God, what are they teaching these children in third grade? Oh my God. I had to take the pre-kindergarten book,
hmm
which, so now I'm walking out of Five Below, first of all, my tail's between my legs. And when I tell you, Bree, tears were streaming because I felt so defeated on what I thought I could do.
mm.
And then what was the reality of it. But again, what my baseline was
Yeah,
and
but
what
you
we're
were
really,
challenged.
but I was challenged on helping the mouse. I'm sorry, he's not a rat. The mouse, the little guy, Alex, find his cheese. It was very demoralizing to me that I'm working on this book.
But you were challenged.
But baby, it was putting in that work. And I was like, I don't know how much cheese this is supposed to be.
Jeez, Alex.
How, damn it. You need to be on a diet, Alex. That's what Hitchie's saying. You're doing too much. It was really a thing for me
Oh,
to
shoot.
kind of get my bearings of where I thought I should be, where I thought I lost, and the
hmm
washout
hmm
of the bridge
hmm
that had happened. And that didn't happen until 2 months in post stroke, when I realized, and that's another thing people don't realize, by the time they get through their 8 weeks of therapy, that's when they begin to realize how bad it is.
Oh, I see.
We have no
You're kind of getting out
idea.
of the fog of
The
like
fog
everything
is,
happening.
I assumed my talking was the least of my concerns because I could think fine.
Hmm.
It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like my thoughts were jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Bree, before I let you go, because I know you got to get up out of here, I'm going to ask you one quick question. And that is, I want one belief about aphasia recovery you want to replace, retire. I'm sorry. Let me start again. All right, Bree. So I'm gonna let you go. Before I let you get up out of here, I have the smart cookie question, and that is, what is, all right, one belief about aphasia recovery you want to retire, and what do you want to replace it with?
Hmm. Oh, that's a really good question.
Or
Okay.
what belief about neuroscience you want to
Yeah.
recover, and what would you want to replace it
Oof.
with?
I still hear it from people, so I'm gonna say it. The fact that people stop recovering after 6 months or a
People
year.
still say that.
I have heard it recently from well-educated people. Recently. And I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what textbook it's in, but it's somewhere, and I will find it. I don't know
We
where
will
it
burn
is.
those books.
I will say definitively, at least, in our research studies, when we've worked with hundreds of people, many, many, many people, we've continued to talk with people who say, "Hey, it's been 20 years and I still feel like I make gains." They're small,
Yeah. Example,
improving.
I have videotapes of me talking after my like sixth or seventh month, and versus even if I go back to the first episode of Brain Friends, I
Mm.
can hear the improvement.
Oh yeah.
It's night and day. Again,
Hmm.
feel free to go and listen to episode 1 of Brain Friends.
Oh, I will
All
now.
platforms, you know what I'm
I
saying?
did listen to it when it first came out, so now I'll revisit.
92 countries,
Wow, look at you.
14,000 downloads, and I'm just doing stroke and aphasia and carrying my girl's legacy
That's right.
on my
That's how we
hip.
do it.
That's how
That's
we
how we
get
do it.
down.
I do have a weird brain. Hold on.
Okay, there you go.
Literal brain
Ooh.
friend.
Oh, you are, see, and who's coming with props? Bree.
We could just do it.
Brielle Stark. So here's what I'm taking away from this episode and the research breakdown. First is that everyday stories and conversations is where aphasia really shows up. It's in those regular conversations that you have. But that's also where the growth shows up. And that's what Dr. Bree was talking about. Second is that good therapy and good home practice should feel meaningful and challenging, not just busy work. And if you're out there wondering whether your brain can still change years after your stroke, I promise you it can. I am getting better every day. Friends of mine are improving every day. So it's all about staying positive. It's all about still doing the work. Even when it feels like it's not going, the train is still on the tracks, guys. So anyway, let's get back to it. I thank you so much for joining me today, being on Brain Friends, taking the time and just spreading the knowledge of neuroscience and Discord and explaining why I can BS with my friend, but can't go through a whole story without walls and evasive maneuvers showing up like I'm on Star Trek. So I appreciate you. And thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Angie. Always awesome to see you, but also to keep Celeste's legacy alive.
Yes.
She's awesome.
And it's an honor to have her legacy attached to this wagon. And she came into my life for a season.
Yeah.
A season.
An important season.
Such a season. We built this and she's like, you got it. It's like she handed me the baton and I'm like 1,000 miles and running. So Bree, thank you so much for spending some time with us, being on Brain Friends. So we will see you next time. Say goodbye.
Until next time, my friend.
Until next time. So to all my brain friends, until next time, take care of your brain, take care of your body, and take care of each other. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Brain friends. We did it.
All right.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Brain Friends. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite streaming platform. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Brain Friends, the podcast. I'm so extra.